Welcome people, it's me, Libluini, with a new turn in our multiplayer extravaganza here. It's now late spring in the year 9 of our Ascension War. And again, lots of things happening here in the endgame. Tons of corpsemans are constructed and a dire portent has happened. Let's look at it. Okay. Looks like our good old neighbor is now the one sending lightnings into our troops. Well, shit. There were also some battles. One is us just simply shoving some vampires off their turf. Nothing else. The other battle was us trying to storm Zetica. And again, Bogaro's player drops a golem in, casts Master and Slave and steals our army. This time I thought I was safe thanks to our Crystal Mage casting anti-magic, but apparently something went wrong. Also, Garth continues to attack our old ally Pangea, but seriously, as long as Utter Dark is active, Pangea is basically destroyed. He won't be able to help us, and Garth is now apparently convinced it's time to stab him in the back, while we are still actively fighting Bogarus. Since I'm half deaf and half a mess of weird winged birdman, I sadly can't be as proactive as I like to be. You saw the disaster in Zetica. And now it's his lightning strikes striking us. But since we have also less troops in areas where his dominion is active, less get killed. Down to 28 from hundreds. And one of our deathcasters is killed. Well, then a spring fluid costs us some money we don't have, so we can ignore this. And we get some gems, always good. We also breached another one of Bogaro's fortresses in Vulcan. Apparently Zetica is still counted as besieged for some reason. And Griffin Spires is also breached, so we can now attack two places at once. So even if Bogaros destroys one army, we still gain another fourth. And yes, diseases and starvation affect our army in Plane of Memories. Upkeep is down to 7,619 from over 9,000. And again 344 units desert. And one of our priests dies. Well, let's take it from down below this time. Planes of Memories. Yes, this army. Again, an army protected by anti-magic, I hope. So we can move it here to besiege this fort. We're filled now with my old army. But since we are both having far too much units to have money, this just means I'm reducing my upkeep and at the same time raise his. So, but you are asking now, what is with the battle? Why did it fail so hard? Well, let's first check global enchantments. Pangea has still one active, the Celestial Rainbow. Apparently the Celestial Rainbow increases luck everywhere. And there's a chance of hostile spells failing. Interesting, I didn't knew this. And now Garth has two active, the Wrath of God, with tons of thunderbolts striking the enemies of his domain. Everywhere where his dominion is intruding into our territory, it will now kill our troops. Utter Dark is still an absolute bastard and nearly undispellable, since this little fucker I used the maximum amount of gems possible, 999. So it's basically impossible to ever meet this, I think. So we will be in darkness forever for this game now. And Garth has another enchantment active, the Arcane Nexus. It's basically eating up all the gems in the world, and someone uses, and most of it ends up with him. It's incredibly good, and wow, since it already needs so many astral spells, it's probably also really hard to dispel, because if you bring up a global enchantment like this, you're better put tons and tons of gems in it to prevent someone else from taking it down. But I see only 4 of 5 are active. Will I risk it? Problem is, I would have cast Utter Dark myself. Kind of funny that I now don't need it. But it's interesting to see that there is now an empty spot. I have no idea what my ally will do, so I'm thinking about maybe risking some gems, casting myself once on global, just to see if I can. Here I'm preparing another turn of amassing a giant death army. It's the last, and I starting to raise the next one. As you can see, my pretender is casting Legend of Whites to gain me 30 of those undead super bastards. The others are still making corpses, and the others are reanimating more undead, just for the hell of it. And as you can see, Saori here, the Death of Aging, casts Black Death at Ulm, since I still can't get there. Ulm was an old capital, so there are still plenty of people, and now thousands of them will die. Sadly, the army right next to it is out of range for my casters in this province, so the Leprosy spell cast by this other supercaster I have is also targeting Ulm, and I think I already did this, so the 120 enemy units here will be deceased and deceased to hell and back, and practically useless except for dying really fast. I just wish I could get the mages here, that would really help me, but I guess I can move my finished death army forward a few provinces and then send another leprosy spell forward to really fuck this bunch of mages up. Anyway, I also moved some scouts around to gain more infos. Here I am attacking my own province again. Here I'm storming with my army here, and I'm storming here with my army. So anyway, even with the golem teleporting in my way again, I'll gain at least 1-4 next turn. This army is almost finished. Here I'm massing my troops here at the eastern side, in the hope that if Garth continues to invade Pangaea, I gain a chance to get this throne province here. Problem is, Pangaea also started to get vampires, which is kind of annoying. But at least if I have enough time, I could get a chance at preaching his dominion down. Then his immortal vampires won't be immortal anymore if I can get them. Alternatively, if Pangaea is weak enough, I could use my sizable underwater army here and gain really fast all those empty provinces here. That's my plan for the future. Let's see how much pressure we can heap on Bogarus, because if Bogarus keeps winning battles, we are in a problem. And yes, I haven't forgotten the battle. Let's take a look. Zetica, why did you go so wrong? Yes, total darkness as always. And what? Ah yes, the super golem. And he can even fly with the winged shoes or earthquakes and other spells. Will have a hard time hitting him. The ritual of returning means he will immediately go back to wherever he came from if he gets hit. Which he now never will in this battle because most of my troops changed sides. I have no idea where in this giant mass my mages are hidden. Funny thing anyway, since I was attacker, the defender got a free turn and he pumped apparently tons of. Oh, I sent him back? Okay, so to finish explaining, my plan was to cast anti-magic to prevent this mess from happening, but what happened instead was, since he was the defender, he ran first and pumped tons of pearls into his golem to cast Master and Slave in the first turn, effectively preventing me from using my Crystal Mage, who is already broken. He's still on my side luckily, but he will be killed now by all the units who changed sides. So, and in the end it was incredibly funny to see this lone survivor who didn't get enslaved just flying over and stabbing the golem, forcing him to teleport out. Kind of funny. But of course the golem can come back. It's now, of course, the riddle is where exactly was the return spell cast, because if it's close by then he can easily teleport back. Question is, will Bogarus teleport him back here to lay a trap for my next army? Will he teleport here to stop this army, or will he teleport here to stop this army? If I'm lucky, he will go back right here, which means I gain 2 force. If I'm unlucky, then we will teleport into Vulcan and kill this army. If I'm less lucky, let's say medium lucky, then we will teleport into this castle here in the middle of nowhere and destroy the army there. Well, let's see. Maybe if I'm lucky, he has to deal with too much shit on other fronts next turn, which will mean I can gain both force, maybe a third one later. But anyway, if it doesn't work, all my super death mages here can cast this little spell, Undead Mastery in this case. Oh wow, 4, 5, 6, 7? But well, they are Death 6, so I can still cast it. In this case my plan is to cast it as late as possible in the scripting order, to give him time to cast Master and Slave. So when he enslaves all my undead, which will easily be possible since they have a really low amount of magic protection. Just look at this, for example. Well, I have to scroll down a bit. Here, Corpse Construct, Magic Resistance 4. Basically, as soon as he casts Master and Slave, they will all change sides immediately. All I need is some undead were a bit less easy to persuade to change sides, and except with my super mages, it's, well, not that many apparently. But anyway, all I need is some protection, so my rebelling undead won't immediately kill my mages, and then when they cast this Undead Enslave spell, then I gain all of them back, plus everything he has summoned in the meantime. At least that's the deal. I have, of course, to be careful, or I get, as I said, in a situation where I can't cast a spell because all the undeads protecting me are suddenly on the other side and kill my mages. So, but well, as long as I remember this very important fact, everything should be A-okay. So another thing, last thing for this turn, we need more protectors, and this means another Starshine Skullcap for one of my level 1 mages, Astral mages I mean. Apparently I stopped forging stupid shit because I can't recruit new scouts, so I can't equip them with my Ranger's cloaks anyway. So that's it for this turn. Still not much happening. I am preparing a surprise attack there. Maybe I don't need it, because Boros is too strong, but maybe Pangaea is even weaker than I assume. Then I can gain tons of provinces really fast for not much effort. And then let's see what our 3 armies and the rest will do, and then we'll send out army number 4 next turn and start creating army number 5. Well, until then, Libluini out.